Hey everyone, it's Julianne here from Stamping Up, independent Stamping Up demonstrator from Hobart. You may notice I'm out of the craft room today. I'm actually in my dining room because it's warmer and the light's better. And you may pick up from my voice that I've got a bit of a cold, so I need to keep warm today. So I'm home from work. What I thought I might do today is a little card that I made recently for a card swap with my team using the First Frost stamp set, and if I can find it, I did bring it out, and dies. Here we go, the dies. As I say, I made this for a card swap recently and then promptly forgot to make myself one, so I thought I'd make one for myself today and show you how it goes. I also used this is the Curls and Swirls Embossing folder. All of these products are new in the holiday catalogue, which is available to customers on the 5th of September. Anyway, I'll make this card and we'll see how we go. So basically, first of all, I've started with our favourite colour in the world, or my favourite colour in the world. This is the Blackberry Bliss. And this card is actually a portrait card, so it's a long ways card rather than a sideways card. So first of all, I cut the Blackberry Bliss to 4 1/8 inch, which is just over 10 centimetres. And I score it halfway for the fold. Excuse my sniffs, I might have to stop if they get too frequent. So scoring it at halfway for the fold. Hopefully I've done that right in my delirium. Not quite right, but I can fix that. There we go, so that's the base card. Then what we basically do is put this aside and get the big shot out. And find the embossing folder. And pop the embossing folder in there. So I'd actually emboss the whole side of the card because I've got both two layers of card in there. I take it right back down to the basic platform. Pop that in there and we'll send it through. Hoping that it doesn't push anything off my table at the same time. Okay, cool. Oh, there went something on the floor. Okay, so you've got the front of the card, oh, come on, embossed there. Now you'll notice it doesn't go quite to the top, but that's fine. That's fine for what we want. I'm going to just quickly, looking up the camera, I'm going to quickly just trim that where I haven't quite got it right. Don't know what happened there. Anyway, that's better. Okay, so there we have the front of the card embossed with the curls and swirls. You can see that's a really good dimension. Hey, the light in here is a lot better. Anyway, so we'll pop that aside for a second. Okay, so on the top of this one, if I can find it. Oh, where's it gone? I thought I put everything out. The top part of this card has a really pretty little piece of paper, which I had a second ago and which I seems to have lost. Bear with me for a minute, guys. It must be in the craft room. Okay, I had a piece the right size cut, but I can't find that. But it's from, it gives me a good chance to show you this beautiful paper. This is the frosted floral paper. It's got, if you can get that in there, it's got like a lovely sheen to it. Got some lovely Christmassy, it's supposed to be Christmassy, but I think it's basically, you could use it any time. I'm going to find the one that I actually used. It's the back of this one. I've used this one, so you can imagine that. That's the beautiful blackberry bliss. So I only want a tiny piece of that. Basically, the width of the card, which is 4 1/8, and only 2.5 inches long. So I'll just cut that. Make sure we can still see what I'm doing. So we want that 4 inches wide, or 4 1/8 inch wide. Wish I knew where I'd put that little piece now. And 2.5 inches long. There we go. And that just fits on the top section of the card there, you can see. Eventually that'll be stuck down. So I might get my glue and stick that down now. And as you can see, it does cover that little piece where the, excuse me, where I use my cough, where the embossing doesn't quite take. There we go. Cool. Oh, a bit of extra glue there, but that won't matter when you see what I'm going to do next. So over there where the gap between the paper and the card is, I'm going to put a piece of this glorious, I actually think it's rich raspberry velvet ribbon, but I don't think the colour difference is too much of a concern. Just cut the right piece, put a very fine line of glue there, and just stick that on. Oh. Stick that on there. So obviously that's going to take a couple of seconds to hold. There, okay. I might just leave those flaps off at the moment. You'll see in a minute what I do with those. Okay, so using the stamp and the framelits, I have stamped and cut out some flowers from the set. This one is the large rose, and that has been stamped in, oh gosh, not powder pink, blushing bride, I think that one is. I'll confirm that in a minute. The leaf, there's a leaf there that's been, that's mint macaroon, and there's 2 of these sprays that I've cut out in Whisper White. So you can see them there. There's the spray there, the flower there, and the larger flower is cut out there. So they're actually going to decorate the front of the card here. When I put them together, I'll put them together in a second. Okay, right, so actually I might do that now. So what I actually did for this, because I want the leaves to tuck up nicely behind the flower and be able to position them so they didn't fall apart. I've got some double-sided tape here. It's a nice thick one. I actually picked this up at another craft shop, but I found it really useful for this. I just pop it on the back of my flower and then remove the tape. so you got a sticky surface. There might be other ways of doing this, but I found this really handy. Then I pop the sprays. Now I don't need all the stem of the sprays or that little part there, so I just get rid of that. Hopefully you can see. Oh, the light's gone funny. Hi Chrissy Ann. Just going to put my blind down a little bit. The light's come in through the window funny. Hopefully that's all right. Yep, that looks all right. Yep, that's better. Okay, so now I've got my flower with the sticky on the back. And I just position the sprays in the position that I want. And if you force it on the back, they actually stick. So I have one at the top. And again, get rid of the long end here. And put the other one coming out of the bottom. And I can get it in the right position and then hold it. And these leaves here, I just need the one, but I don't need it all. So I'll just cut that one there. Have that one come out. Oh, stuck to my own finger now. Have that one come out there. Oh, sticky to the extreme. And then just tuck that one in behind there. So you can see that's quite pretty there. The colours go well together. And then what I actually did again was just take another piece of this double-sided tape and put it on there to keep them, once I was happy with the position, put the double-sided tape on there to keep them all in place. There. So they're not going anywhere now. And so they will fit quite nicely just on the edge there of the card. And I'll get some foams, some dimensionals, and pop them on there. So that's the basis of the card that I made for the card share. I think I saw that Chrissy had got hers already. And so I know I've received some, which was really great. Okay, so inside with these ends of ribbon, what I basically have done is cut myself, moving everything around, cut a couple of pieces of Whisper White cardstock for inserts. Now, we usually have, when we do card making, we usually have a white panel here, but with the embossing, I find it weakens the structure of the card, so I actually put a white panel at the top as well. And then what you do, you can actually, before you stick it down, you can actually flip those two little tags underneath it, so they're tucked away nice. Oh, it's gone, yeah. So I just cut those, so we've got a 4 1/8 card, so the insides are going to be 4 inches wide. And as I say, in this case we want 2 of them, so they're going to be, it's a 5 3/4 card, so you bring back to 5 5/8 for the insides. Five and 5/8. Hopefully my measuring is right. Pretty good there. So what I do in this case is I would actually use double-sided tape for that, which I haven't got in. Here's me thinking I've got everything I needed. So I would actually use double-sided tape for this. Put them aside. And pop this down here to here. And here to here. I say, fold that over so it sticks to the tape, and then take your inside panel and fix that. There. So as you can see, it tucks those little bits of ribbon nicely away. You do get a little bit of an indent, but not much. My ribbon's actually moved a little bit, but I don't think that matters. So this is my inside panel here. And what I did with this was I took Mossy Meadow, which is a lovely colour, a bit like a khaki green, like an open thing. I actually got from the stamp set, there's this lovely spray here. So I use this one in my block. Put this on here. Go. Now the lovely thing about these stamps is they're actually what they call, they're a special kind of stamp that have a mottled effect. So they're not a straight stamp, they do look quite artistic. So they're quite lovely. You do have to get used to the fact that it's not a block of colour, but I think they're quite effective. Which is what you can see when you look at our little rose here. That's just stamped once, and it does actually have lots of different shades of the same colour there. So that's what the effect you get with these stamps with just one stamping. Then taking our sentiment and putting them on a block. And then for the sentiment I used Blackberry Bliss. Got to get it up the right way. Try and get that as centered as I possibly can without going over our little flower too much. Beautiful. So here's to a season filled with warmth, comfort and good cheer. The way I like this one, it's a Christmas themed card, but it's not, you could use it for, you know, you could use it for friends who are of different faiths or you know, non-religious sort of people, which is important these days. So we'll just pop that one. I can actually just use glue for this one. Oh, I've got my fingerprint on it, don't worry, it's all right. Will I do another one? Yeah, I might do another one because I've put my finger spludge on that, but you get the feeling. I'll just pop that in there. And then I'll put my spray on the front, right way up. And I did actually do also did a little sentiment coming off the side there, which I'll do. Here again, I did that one in, excuse me, I'll take those. Did that one in Blackberry Bliss. Hi Wendy. I've got a bit of a cold, so I'm not oozing enthusiasm today, but I thought I'd make one of these cards because they're the ones I made for the swap, and I didn't keep one for myself, so I thought a nice opportunity to do a video and get a card for myself. So I'll just take that, wishing you all the best sentiment. Stamp that off. Get rid of this ink. This Blackberry Bliss is beautiful, but it gets everywhere, as you can see. Now, I made this sentiment as thin as I can and still get the whole thing in there. And I use the tag punch. So I don't know if everyone's got this one. I find it really handy when I'm not making tags. I just use it to make little banners out of my sentiments. Just using that very gentle sort of V that it's got. Put that in there, and I'll just tuck that under there, and using dimensionals I'll attach that. So I think that's quite pretty there. So that's the one I made for the share, and now I've made one for myself. And yet again, that is the glorious First Frost set, and the really nice, I think this is my favourite in the whole world, the Curls and Swirls, even though it was designed for, oh, I bumped it, didn't I? Yeah, sorry, thanks Wendy. That's the Curls and Swirls embossing folder, which I think is one of my favourites. I think I'll be using that for every season, not just Christmas. So all of these new products are new in the holiday catalogue, so anyone watching back later, that comes available to customers on the 5th of September, but I have catalogues now if you'd like to look at them. Get it nice and new off the system, and off the presses, and get ready for some beautiful Christmas cards. So thanks for watching, and thanks for watching later back, everyone. And I'll go back to bed. I think I'm suffering with this cold a bit too much. So talk later. Thanks guys. Bye.